So in this question we're shown the following graph in figure 3. And it shows a sketch of the curve with the equation y is equal to the square root of x. So we can see the curve here is y equals root x. And we're told that we have a point P of xy, which lies on the curve here. We then have a rectangle, which is shaded, as we can see here. And it has a height of y and a width of delta x. We're asked to calculate the limit as delta x tends to 0 of the sum from x equals 4 to 9 of the square root of x delta x. So effectively what we're being asked to do is, as this delta x here gets really small towards 0, what is the area between 4 and 9? So we know that we can work out the area by integrating. And we know that the definition of the integral is going to occur when, in this case, delta x tends to 0. So therefore, since delta x tends to 0, we can say that the limit of delta x to 0 of the sum from x equals 4 all the way to 9 of the square root of x delta x is going to be equal to the integral of root x with respect to x. And now we ask, what are our limits going to be? Well, we're summing from 4 to 9, and then also we can see in the graph the area goes from 4 to 9. So therefore we'll have our limits as 9 for the upper limit and 4 for the lower limit. So therefore, continuing this on, we know that we can express the square root of x in a slightly nicer form for being able to integrate. So we'll have that the square root of x is equal to x to the power of a half, and we're still integrating with respect to x. And then from our knowledge of integration, we know that we add 1 to the power and divide by the new power. So that leaves us with x to the power of 3 over 2. So then we divide by 3 over 2, which is equivalent to multiplying by 2 over 3. So therefore we have a 2 in front of the x, and this is all divided by 3. And then we're going to put our square brackets around it here and write in our limits still. So 9 and 4. And then all that's left for us to do now is to take 9 and to take 4 and substitute them into our equation. So what do we have here? We're then going to have 2 lots of 9 to the power of 3 over 2. And we're going to divide that by 3. And then from this we're going to subtract 2 multiplied by 4 to the power of 3 over 2. And we're going to divide this one by 3 as well. And then putting these into our calculator, these come out as 38 over 3. And therefore we've answered the question, and we've shown that the limit as delta x tends to 0 of the sum from x equals 4 all the way to 9 of root x delta x is equal to 38 over 3. This question was worth 3 marks, and we pick up our first mark for knowing that this expression here is equivalent to this integral here. So we gain mark 1 here. We then gain our second mark for successfully integrating the square root of x and getting to this stage here with our square brackets and our limits here and here. And then we receive our third and final mark for correctly substituting our limits into this expression and coming out with the correct answer of 38 over 3.